Hi, welcome everyone to the info session about the Product Management Career Accelerator we're hosting today. In today's session, with the help of our panelists, we'll uncover how the King's Product Management Career Accelerator can help us build the skills, confidence, and connections to thrive in product management. We'll be covering insights from panelists, real stories of transformation, program details, and also the opportunity to ask questions in order to guide you on this decision-making journey. This collaboration is about blending academic excellence with real-world application. Our goal is to help you develop the capabilities to thrive in modern product roles. The partnership between King's College London and 4th Rev brings together the best of university education and industry best practices to design and deliver the career accelerators. This is a learning model that's purpose-built to fast-track careers. These career-focused online programs equip our learners with the deep and varied knowledge, the practical skills and recognition required to unlock tangible results in the job market. In support of the goals of the Career Accelerator, events like this one were created to inform and inspire potential learners about their field of interest. And I just, before we continue, want to send a gentle reminder to please post any questions that you might have in the Q&A chat for below, and we'll get to those answers during the course of the webinar. I also like to let you know that this session will be recorded. We're seeing sustained growth in product management roles, but employers are still struggling to find talent with both technical and soft skills. And this is exactly why the King's Career Accelerator is designed. This is exactly what this Career Accelerator is designed to address, helping our learners build relevant skills and make real career moves. With that being said, I'd love to introduce a warm welcome to our panelists that will be supporting today and answering any questions along the way. So please introduce yourselves, Justin, Yasmin, and Claire.
I guess I'll go first since my name was called out first. So I'm Justin. I am a product manager and subject lead here at 4th Rev for the KCL courses. So this includes product management and product design. My background has either been in product management or product design for the last 12 or 13 years. And I've been at 4th Rev for the last couple years, helping to launch their product design course and then continuing to build our product management course, which we're here to talk about today.
Thank you, Justin.
Yep.
Hi, I'll go next, seeing as my name was called out next by Danny. I'm Claire. I'm one of the career coaches here at 4th Rev, supporting all of our learners to reach their career goals while they're working with us. And I also manage the career coaching team as well. And so I've been here for about 3 years, and it's just amazing meeting all these different people. Everyone's so diverse and wanting to do different things. So I sort of love what we do here, sort of supporting people reaching their goals.
Thank you, Claire. Yasmin, if you want to go next.
Hi everyone, I'm Yasmin Desai. I'm a principal product manager at a company called View, which is part of a bigger firm called JC&Co. So I'm in advertising. I have been in product for almost 8 years now, and previously I came from a background of operations. So maybe like yourselves, I made the switch at some point in my career. I'm also an assistant facilitator on the 4th Rev course. So if you do end up taking this course, then it's very likely you might see me a lot. I'll either be marking your assignments or in any of the course materials that you see and teach, that I'll teach. So yeah, looking forward to speaking to you all today.
Awesome. Welcome. We're in good hands with this panel of strong speakers today. And I'm looking forward for us to getting into a little bit more about the program and how you support our learners through this journey. But first, I'd like to maybe set the scene a little bit and of why product management is such an exciting career right now. In 2024, product managers' salaries in the UK rose by 7.7%, and this is well above the national average of about 5.2%. The outlook is looking really strong here, with two-thirds of hiring managers expecting conditions to either improve or at least stay stable in 2025. People are really drawn to product management for many reasons. There's flexible, remote, hybrid work options. There's a chance to be creative and to work on strategic projects. There's healthy earning potential and opportunities across a wide range of different industries. Plus, the skills you gain open doors for future roles in consulting or even starting your own business. This really is a thriving field with huge growth potential, and now is a fantastic time to enter it. A career where you can drive innovation, solve real world problems, and be well rewarded for your impact. Now that we've talked a little bit about why product management is such a great career choice, let's look at what makes the King's Product Management Accelerator so valuable in this stage of your career. First, you'll work on practical projects with real-world applications. So it's not just theory, but you get hands-on experience where you can showcase to employers. You'll also have personalized support from a career coach. You'll have a dedicated success manager to help you build confidence, clarity, and a clear transition plan into product management. On completion of the program, you'll earn a certificate from King's College London with the option to specialize further with a postgraduate certificate, which is a credential that will really help you stand out amongst your peers. And finally, our structured curriculum covers the full end-to-end product lifecycle. So you'll leave with a complete understanding of the role and the responsibilities of a product manager. We'd love to hear from you. So we're going to launch a quick poll now, and we'll go through the results a little bit later. But really, we want to understand what your biggest challenges are when considering the Career Accelerator. Is it balancing work and studies? Is it financial investment? Is it support for transitioning into product management? Or is it understanding your career opportunities? And we'll be able to unpack, the results and any questions that arise from there throughout the webinar. While we wait for your responses, I'd love to hear from our panel. Claire, I'm going to pick on you first. How does coaching help learners navigate some of these common hurdles that we see on the Career Accelerator?
So yes. So from a career coaching perspective, we recognize that it is a career accelerator. Everyone's here wanting to accelerate their career. They're learning some sort of great skills and knowledge and experience on the career accelerator. So how the career coaching plays into that is sort of like helping and supporting in that area of transitioning from, okay, what am I learning? What am I building up my knowledge? How do I use that to help me reach my career goal of what I want to do? And people's career goals are very varied, and everyone's very different. So from a career coaching perspective, you have a dedicated career coach who is working with you. And so it is focused on what you need. Now, there's very much, if you're looking for a new job, which a lot of people are, there's some very common themes that we will help and support you with. But it all comes back to, you as an individual and what do you need at that time to help you make progress. And I think, we support on areas like CV and personal branding, but probably the areas where we support the most is around helping people with confidence, self-belief, overcoming imposter syndrome, all of that mindset piece as well, so that you can then take the actions you want to be able to take to get to the transition that you want to make.
Thank you for sharing, Claire. I really love the personalization of the aspects of the career coaching through the program. I think every learner comes in with different career goals and different career opportunities, and that personalized support from their career coach is essential for unlocking those opportunities and achieving those goals. Yasmin, I'd like to pick on you next. Have you seen any of these concerns reflected in your mentoring or your facilitation work?
Oh, sorry, I was just trying to find the mute button.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that comes up is like accessibility to speak to someone quite quickly when you do have a problem, or you can't maybe attend a specific session, or do the hours in the week for the sessions keep changing. Typically, we try our best to keep it very consistent. So at least for one of the courses right now, I believe it's always Thursday, where there's a slot and then a different slot in the evening if you can't make that one the prior day. Friday we always have Q&A at 11:30, so it's quite a nice time just before lunch. But in terms of the accessibility to myself or any of the other facilitators, we kind of do it so that there's like a rotated calendar that's available. So typically there's someone pretty much that can answer you directly within 24 hours on the tool that we use, which is called Circle. And secondary to that, if you want further information, you can have your 30-minute calls with us as well, which again, because there's so many of us, it's quite likely that you're able to get that quite soon if you feel that you need that. Some people are the opposite and they book it way in advance. And so they say, I know that I need to submit my assignment to close to this date, and therefore I'm going to already book in my one-to-one maybe 10 days before that because I know I'll have a bunch of questions. So the flexibility really is there. I guess the commitment in terms of the sessions per week really is, it's flexible because you've got that daytime class and you've got the evening class. And the fact that everything's recorded, that you can watch it back depending on your learning style. If you want to see the notes, the slides, the AI notes, the watching it on 1.5 speed, if you're feeling quite energetic in the morning, it's all there for you to consume in the way that you want it.
Amazing. And consume it in the way that you want it. But when you need questions or you need support, you have support from course facilitators, industry experts, as well as your career coach. So it's a highly supportive online learning environment, all thanks to you. For the next part of the webinar, I'd like to call upon Justin to briefly walk us through the key curriculum updates of the program and some insights into what's coming for our October intake.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I'd first start by saying we're not necessarily changing things super drastically. It's more building upon what we have already to create an even better and more up-to-date course. So I'll go through the 3 bullets here, but then I can dive a bit deeper on some extra stuff as well. So I'd say in terms of the refined core PM competencies, I'd say traditionally we've dived into like the academic or historical side of many topics, which, Yasmin and the learners might find like interesting, but we want to move away from some of this and maintain an even better focus on those core PM competencies and high leverage skills so that like every minute that the learner is putting into the course is productive and helping them get their career outcomes. So having a much more streamlined focused course is really important for our update. We also want to do a deeper dive into delivery and execution. I mean, we already do delivery and execution in the course because it's a core part of the PM model, but it's not unusual for like a lot of PMs when they're starting out in their career to actually take on a product owner role or product owner like responsibilities within a PM role that's a bit more delivery and execution. So we want to build out this section of the course even stronger than it already is so that they can be equipped. At the same time, we want to do an even better focus on what we would call the discovery phase. So these are things like assumptions mapping and opportunity solution trees and generative research techniques that help PMs like at early stages of a product or strategy come up with the right path. And then, of course, the last 2 things that you mentioned here is about, building up and making sure we have a sufficient coverage of all the evolving skill demands in the market. So data fluency, obviously a massive one. When we talk data fluency, for us, it's not about, we're not going to be teaching you how to use SQL inside and out. It's more about PMs need to know, are you asking the right questions? Can you collaborate with analysts? Do you understand what we call funnel metrics? So can you interpret things like Google Analytics or other software? And then some basic A/B testing or experiment testing for products. So data fluency, absolutely one. We'll probably also build up some tech fluency, tooling. And then, of course, what we have here is AI. And we see AI enhancements on 2 sides. One is AI-enabled workflows for product managers. So how can we make you a faster, more efficient working product manager? So that's like, how can AI improve your process? And giving real practical advice there and things to take away and you can use like on the job right away. And then also how to manage AI products. So like, how do you put AI features into your product? When do you put it into your product? What are the complications behind that? I think a lot of PMs now today, even very experienced senior ones, do not understand fundamentally what it takes financially and logistically to incorporate AI into the product. So that's important to have as well. And then the last thing I would say is we believe because of AI that actually the high leverage human skills, the soft skills, are going to become increasingly important. And we actually teach this quite well in the course already, but we want to do even better in this regard. So things like strategic judgment, product taste, stakeholder alignment, leadership, we want to really build on these PM leadership soft skills. And then commercial acumen as well, so that you can lead business cases, set the right targets, prioritize successfully. So yeah, there's quite a few updates coming. I'd say to sum it up, it's streamlining the course, updating for evolving skill sets like data and AI, and then enhancing the human skills section and your business acumen capabilities.
Thank you so much, Justin.
Yep.
That's definitely one of the advantages of a career accelerator, is that we're able to update, as AI evolves and incorporating it. And it's unavoidable at this stage, but I do love the emphasis on the human strengths and utilizing AI from that respect. So thank you so much for sharing, and really looking forward to seeing those in October.
Yeah, I'd also say that this has also been backed by like a large number of subject matter experts. We've had over 10 subject matter experts. I think maybe 12, I think 11 surveyed. Me and another product manager created. So we've had 13 subject matter experts. Yasmin was one of them, but we have product leads, head PM recruiters. We've had product managers, head of products. We've had brand new people that are new to the field. So we have perspectives from all seniority levels. So it's had a lot of input into the direction that we want to take the course. So yeah, quite excited about it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Just for a brief program overview, but I do recommend chatting one-on-one or booking a call with your enrollment advisor to really find out more specifics of the program. But for the purpose of this webinar, it is a completely online program. It's 6 months in duration. We anticipate that you'll spend about 15 to 20 hours a week dedicated to the program. And as you've heard, there is a lot of support throughout that program. We do have set start dates and set end dates for the program. So it's self-paced, but within that schedule and within your cohort. And that also allows you networking and communication and working with your cohorts throughout the program. In terms of the curriculum, we're really looking at the entire product lifecycle from start to finish. So that's product management and strategy. We're looking at product design and development, and then launching your product to market. You will have practical projects at the end of each course that will build up onto each other, particularly for course 1, 2, and 3. And these will be done on an individual basis. And these will be graded and assessed and marked for you in order for you to progress through the program. Then it accumulates into course 4, which is our 6-week employer project. This is going to be a group work project where we've partnered with an employer partner, so a company or a company that has a real world business challenge that they're currently experiencing. They present that challenge to our learners, and our learners spend the 6 weeks on that employer project presenting product focused solutions to that business challenge. There is also an opportunity to, once you've completed the Career Accelerator and successfully graduated with over 60%, there is an opportunity to take on an additional postgraduate certificate. Now, this can be done within 2 years of graduating the program. It's completely optional. It's about a 4-month project where you work with a King's supervisor and an industry mentor. You come with a research topic of your choice, and you spend that time really deep diving into that research topic. So conducting the research, you're just writing your dissertation, and then presenting that your findings to your supervisor and to be graded by a panel of King's academics. If you do want to find out more about the postgraduate certificate or the Career Accelerator itself, as I mentioned, please book a call with your dedicated enrollment advisor, and they'll be happy to talk to you specifically about why you're looking at doing the program and really working out whether this is the right program for you in terms of matching your outcomes and what it is that you're hoping to achieve with your career goals through this program. So I would like to go over some results of the interactive poll, and then I would also like to speak to our panel a little bit about some questions that we have here for them. Again, if you do have any questions, please submit them in the Q&A box, and myself and the panelists will get to them throughout this presentation. What advice do you have for someone pursuing a career in product management? And I guess I will direct this to Claire first, and then maybe to Yasmin if you want to add anything that Claire maybe left out.
I'm sure Yasmin will have lots of advice to add on, especially having made a career change herself, and maybe Justin as well. So I think my biggest advice is, don't underestimate your sort of transferable skills and the skills that you already built up so far. And in that, I mean, I can remember sort of having a conversation with one of our product learners who was a business owner. She'd set up this business, wanted to transition into product. And, you know, she was just like saying, there's absolutely nothing I've got from setting my business. How am I going to start? I'm going to have to start at a very bottom level. And really sort of getting her to work on, actually, well, if I think of my business as a product, what did I do? And I think there's so many things we do in previous careers that if you just change the way that you think about it, you can then start seeing how you've developed some of those transferable skills, which are absolutely key for a product manager. So that's my one bit of advice there.
Thank you, Claire. Yasmin, anything you want to add to that?
I could be here all day, so I'm going to try and keep it succinct. It's something I'm quite passionate about. There are a lot of people that want to make the change into product, and rightly so. It is a very fulfilling career. There's a lot of jobs around, there's a lot of ownership, and essentially, I would say it is fundamentally one of those roles where you can't really say that there's nothing that you shouldn't do in the role. So it's defined, but then that also means that depending on what company you go to, product can mean very different things. And so you can work at somewhere where essentially product is the mini CEO. You can work somewhere else where maybe it's a little bit more defined, and actually you have very strict responsibilities that you're working on potentially. And there's no easy way to know that before you join a company, but I think what I like about product is it is quite a foundational role that does allow you to move into other roles as well in the future that aren't necessarily just product too. So I think it's quite interesting in that way, where I've seen people come from all sorts of backgrounds, nurses turned into product managers, which I love that. But then also, you can specialize in product for a few years and go back out to something else, program management, delivery management. There's so many other verticals that you can go into because it's quite an all-encompassing role. And so I guess the one thing that I say to individuals when they are really considering that role is, what is their incentive that's driving them? Is it just the money? In which case, or we wouldn't necessarily say that that's the reason that you should take it. But if you typically find yourself being quite curious, if you open an app and you're like, why is it like that? Why did they send me to this live chat experience? Why did they, ask me to fill out these details when but I've already given these details before? Like, if you find things like that a little bit frustrating, if you're in your own company and you see the recent updates of what's been shipped to customers and you think, wait, why did we even work on that? I would have prioritized something totally different, or I would have done a deployment that's slightly different, or I would have worked on the design a different way. These, to me, are, if you're thinking of these already, are really good signals as to whether you would be good in a product career, because curiosity is not something that you can teach to people. And so I find that the best product managers are those that are curious.
Awesome, Yasmin. Thank you so much. And maybe while I have you there and you're chatting, I'd love to hear from your experience, what skills do you feel are most valued in this industry apart from that curiosity?
Yeah, again, so many, but I think it's really the main one that I would say is taking something that is ambiguous and complex and being able to distill that into something that is tangible for people. So if I was just to say to someone, hey, we've got a really big problem in advertising where there's not enough spend, go and do something about it. Super vague. You have no idea what I might mean in my head, or what I'm expecting you to come back with. But if you can take something really chunky and meaty like that, but be able to distill it into, okay, well, I'm just going to focus it into the budgets that people spend in a year in just out of home advertising, then maybe I've refined it a little bit more, or reduce the scope and then take that further, take that further, take that further. So the one thing that I'm doing, at least if I'm hiring on the hiring side, is we'll do a product case study during the interview process, and that's deliberately something that we'll do. Is we say something very, very vague, and it's not the solution that we're looking for. It's really not. It's actually the process that you take. So what logical process are you taking to make something that's super complex a bit more digestible and a problem that your team can actually solve together?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Yasmin. And the results from the poll are in, and it's actually pretty evenly distributed of what are your biggest challenges when considering this career accelerator. It's fairly evenly distributed. So I think this is a really good session for us to cover the balancing and the work studies, how we're, how does that work, and the support that you get, the financial investment in the program, and then transitioning into product management and understanding our career opportunities. Which I think we have covered a lot of those. And if there's any questions that are still on your mind, please post your questions to the Q&A. I'd love to read you this quote from one of our alumni, Polly, a strong advocate for our program. And Polly just mentioned that investing in their professional growth wasn't an easy decision, but looking back, this was the best career investment that they've made. The return on investment is real. I now have the confidence, skills, and credibility to grow my career in ways I wouldn't have imagined before. I love hearing this from Polly. It's just one of the many success stories that we have from learners that have completed the program. We've really supported our learners that have completed the program to land roles in product, to shift industries, to even move into leadership positions, more senior positions. So I'd love to maybe lean on Claire a little bit here and ask from your experience working closely with learners as a coach, what do these kinds of success stories reflect about the journey students go on during the program, and what sort of transformations do we see most often through the Career Accelerator?
I think the journeys are very personal, and for each individual learner that we work with, and people are coming with lots of different sort of expectations, dreams, hopes, and desires. And I think for me, some of the sort of transitions or some of the sort of journeys is just the growth that you see learners reach over the course of the program. So just reflecting on that, I was in a coaching session yesterday with one of our learners who's completed, and at the beginning we're talking about, I think about 7-8 months ago when she first started. She was not going to want to use LinkedIn, didn't want to promote herself. She's on the neurodiversity spectrum, and that was holding her back in a lot of ways. And then yesterday in our coaching session, she came up with, I've got this idea of sort of some podcasts I'm going to create. This is what I'm thinking. What do you think? And just a reflection in that difference in confidence over the time that she's been here, in confidence in the skills that she's learned, in her perspective about how to get myself out there, be proud of what I can do, is just amazing. And that's the bit I love the most. And then that sort of then feeds through into people reaching those goals. At some points it can be a real roller coaster of emotions, and you think this is going to be impossible. And I'm sure Yasmin, maybe when she is making the change, it just feels so big. But it is these steps and these changes that make it possible for people.
Yeah, I mean, it's no easy feat, changing a career or changing industries. And I think it's really important to have that support and that sounding board in your career coach throughout the program. Am I doing the right thing? Am I looking in the right places? Just for kind of reassuring you through that journey.
Yeah, and celebrating celebrating the steps that you've made along the way and recognizing it. It's break it down, and take consistent action. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Claire. I'd love to hear from the audience, what excites you most about product management? What is bringing you to start exploring this career change at this stage? And while I wait for that feedback, I'd love to chat to Yasmin a little bit more about what excites you most about the direction that product space is heading in.
Yeah, sure. I think I mean, look, everyone is talking about AI. How is it going to change things? Are you worried about losing your job and such forth? But I think that the distinction that I've seen, at least in the last few months, is that the need for the judgment and the solutionizing still will lie with the product manager, and that's not something that AI can necessarily do or replace or again take that like logical flow. So that's exciting, but I would say that I think that the requirement for what product managers have to do has slightly evolved as well. So I saw something even just this morning actually that said, oh, I can't remember the name of the company, maybe it was Typeform, where they've introduced almost like the vibe coding interview, where as a product manager now you have to be able to design a prototype. And we do that in the course because it's such a fundamental skill. And the thing is that it is absolutely incredible how you can whip something up literally in 2 commands, in 2 prompts. And so knowing how to do that and do everything else effectively in your role is so important. But you don't know it necessarily if you don't know to do it as well. And so that's why there's so much value in being in one of these accelerators, is because you're on the journey with a lot of other people and you're on a journey with industry leaders who are on that evolution with you as well. And so, where we can, me and Tom, and Jed, if you're on his course, is we're always showing like new tools that we're using or how we've done something applicable in our work as well. So yeah, I think there's so much that's exciting about being a product manager right now. And again, even if you look at the number of jobs that are available, they're still going up. So that's a good sign to me.
Awesome, a very exciting space to be in, Yasmin, and an exciting space to potentially look at entering into through the Career Accelerator. I see that we do have quite a few questions in the Q&A box. Thank you so much for putting those in. So we'll move on to a little bit more about the program itself, and then we can get into the Q&A and see how many we can get through before the end of the session. I do want to say before we get into that, a huge thank you to Yasmin and to Claire and to Justin for your time and sharing your insights, and more insights as the questions come in. To wrap up quickly, the key takeaways of the session, product management is a thriving, future-proof career and a strong earning potential, and has opportunities across various different industries. This King's Product Management Career Accelerator really is designed to give you the practical skills, the personalized support, the industry connections, and the confidence that you need to step into a new role. Now is a great time to take action and to commit to a program like this. As you heard from Justin, a few of the implementations to the Career Accelerator itself for October. We also have a few we have limited spaces on our cohorts as well. So the earlier you get in, the more you can confirm that you've got a spot for the October intake. And then we also have a few early benefits that are currently running before the 15th of August. We've got early career coaching, so you'll get 2 personalized career coaching sessions before the program starts, and then access to a product interview lab. So that's about a 2 90-minute live interactive sessions with a product coach, James Ganaka. The first session is going to be on the 19th of August, and there are very limited spaces on those sessions. So I think we have 10 places in total, and I know that we've been filling them up. So if you are interested in those and in joining our October cohort, please reach out to your enrollment advisor and book a call with them. this is a big decision and we want to support you with that decision. So, sessions like this where we'll get into your Q&A now, but then speaking to your enrollment advisor before starting your application is advised. If we can move to the Q&A and get through those, I'm sure there'll be a few sessions, a few questions for our panelists that we can get into. I don't know if you want to, if I should just direct them to you, the ones that can be relevant. Okay, so actually most of these look like there might be. Okay, so here's a good question. I wonder if this program also has some focus or covers soft skills for product ownership, like communication and negotiation skills and servant leadership, etc. Justin, do you want to maybe comment on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a massive focus of the course because that's one of the key jobs of the PM. When Yasmin talked about problem solving and taking complex problems and coming up with a simplified solution, I would say communication is one of the next most important things because you're communicating up and down across your team all day long to different stakeholders. So it's massive. I mean, for every assignment that you do per those 4 courses that were mentioned, you're putting together a business case, you're doing a video pitch, you're doing a demo run through of your product, you're doing a team presentation with the employer project. So the soft skills are really important, and we're going to amp them up even more in the new updates as well. But it's always been a big part of what we teach because every product management role is different. Some have some more technical focuses. They want you to be really tech savvy for certain technology. Others want you to be really heavy in data, like sometimes like online gaming, for example. But then they all need that communication skill and that soft skill. So we make sure that those core competencies are there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this actually leads into the next question here is how does this course help you overcome the challenges prospective entry-level product managers are having with AI starting to do more entry-level tasks and thus a reduction in entry-level roles available? I don't know if you have any, that's quite a broad question, but
I mean, I'm sure Yasmin can answer this too, but it's the same as I also say for the product design course. It's like AI can't just do like a full role. I think it's doing bits of task here and there to support you as a product manager. So I don't think it's replacing entry level PM roles. And also like, okay, maybe a very senior PM is managing some other teams, but fundamentally the junior PM role is not different from the senior PM role. You're doing the same activities. So I wouldn't see it as replacing. I think what it is doing is if you're not able to use AI for your workflows and you're working much slower, for example, or you're not sure how you'd ever integrate AI into your product, then you might lose out to peers or other people competing for jobs with you because you're not leveraging that technology, which is why in the updates, it will be deeper integrated into the program. Right now, we have like a very strong like AI learning track. It's a 4-part masterclass series. We're looking to bring that into the course content and structure and even more integrated. Though Yasmin and the facilitators do a great job every week of if there's an AI process that is relevant to the content of the week or the assignment of the week, they will share their experience with that. But yeah, I don't know if I fully answered the question. But yeah, I think getting familiar with how AI will enhance your PM process is what's important, and also how the basic technology of AI works and the business fundamentals so that you know as a product manager whether you should have AI in your product or not. You don't have to do that before our course. Of course, you can learn that on our program.
I mean, absolutely, I think it's unavoidable AI and just the evolution of it and the integration of it. And so staying on top of it in any career choice that you do is important. How do we leverage it instead of it leveraging us, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, I will say, maybe Yasmin would agree or disagree that you could be an advantage sometimes as like especially a younger person or someone new to PM that like if you have really strong AI capabilities and you're like brand new to PM and less of a PM capability, that's a strength that a lot of companies will value. And so they can teach you, if they have senior PMs, they can teach you PM skills. You learn PM skill. I learned on the job as like the only PM for a startup when they didn't have a PM. So I went straight out of business school and did that. So I mean, um, you definitely can have a one up if you're very junior or new and have AI skills. Because a lot of senior people might not have done it, or like maybe their businesses have been working so hard they don't have the time to really explore and learn how to improve their process. So you could be at an advantage in that situation, ironically.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin, maybe while I still I'm sorry I've caught you at a bad time.
It's okay.
Do you have a comment on how much of the program is divided between self-study learning and pre-recorded versus live instructors and live classes? From my understanding, it's
Yeah.
pretty well balanced.
Well, it would definitely lean towards self-study because we do 1 hour 45. We do 2.5 hours of sessions a week. I think it depends on the number of learners we get. I think it can be anywhere between 1.5 and 2.5 hours of live sessions a week. Yasmin, you can correct me if I'm wrong. We tend to have the 1 hour main class. And then if there's numbers are high enough, we usually have a 45 minutes industry insights session and then a 45-minute Q&A. Sometimes that's reduced to 30 minutes, but your live sessions are a smaller portion, and some students opt to always watch the live sessions as recordings, which they can do, although we encourage them to join because then they can ask the questions they want and get answers straight from the facilitators there in those sessions. The rest of the time, they're doing those 12 to 15 hours, they're reading the Canvas material or they're working on we call them activities, but they're basically their well, not even simulations. You're doing actual real world activities on a simulated company. So you're like either doing the work or self-studying on your own until you get to the employer project at the end, the final 6 weeks, and that's entirely group work. But again, it's remote group work for a lot of teams, so you're not always working together, but usually they're on calls, they're doing group sessions, etc. So the majority is self-learning, and you can do it all without attending anything live except for some of the employer projects. So you
Yes.
can do it fully remote pretty much, except for at least 1, 2 sessions you would have to go to for the employer project live. The rest you could do completely on your own and watch recordings if you desired, or you could check in every week and have a in-person session. Of course, there's the one-to-ones too with facilitators. You get one per course, so um, that's also extra live time. So I guess, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Justin. And Yasmin, I know that you mentioned a little bit about those live classes earlier on. I think we have some questions around the timings and the sessions and then and the duration of them. I know that this does change from kind of cohort to cohort based on our facilitator availability. But if you could touch a little bit on how long those sessions are and what the current schedule is.
Yeah, sure. So at the moment, and again, this will depend on who your instructor is, though. But I believe it's Wednesday 12 to 1 or Thursday in the evening, so 6 to 7, and you attend one or the other. It's not both. And then we've got our Friday Q&A at 11:30. Again, that's not mandatory, so probably the easiest thing to do there if you can't make it is just look through the notes as to whether any of the questions are relevant for you. So yeah, so that's the schedule of the course that I'm on. I'm not sure about the Jed's course though.
Yeah, thank you so much. And as I said, it does kind of depend on the facilitator availability, but all of those sessions are recorded and provided to you. And as Yasmin mentioned earlier on, if you do have any questions that spring up, there will be someone that will be able to support you and assist with providing answers to those questions that you have on the program.
Yeah.
Claire, I haven't. Oh, sorry, Justin. Yeah.
We do try to aim for the main class to run on Wednesday, 12 to 1, but like it does shift sometimes with the facilitator, but most of the time it's that session. And then there's often, but not always, an evening session. Like some of our programs don't have an evening session. And then there's usually a Friday. Usually the Q&A is a Friday, but if it has to be, it can be run. But we usually aim for Wednesday main class, Friday Q&A. Depending on numbers and other things, you could have more sessions evening or daytime. But those 2 sessions we try to do around then.
Thank you so much. Claire, I'm pick on you for this question. Could you talk a little about whether the coaches also have experience in guiding candidates for job opportunities across Europe in addition to the UK market?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've supported learners in many different countries, so Europe, Asia, all around. We've even had some over in New Zealand and Australia come onto the program. So yes, so we do have experience of supporting people in different countries and in Europe, and actually, the work isn't that different depending on what country you are. You still got to be able to sort of promote yourself, have that sort of positioning, be able to get out there and sell yourself to people. So a lot of it is the same no matter where you are that you're working. And we sort of talk to coaches in sort of European countries, and they're not doing anything different. So it doesn't matter. Obviously, there is a slight challenge sometimes. I mean, I'm working with a couple of people in Spain. They share an English version of the CV with me rather than a Spanish version of the CV. But the processes they're going through are very similar.
Thank you so much. We don't limit the Career Accelerator to UK based learners only. We offer it globally. So the career coaches and student support mentors are also quite used to supporting learners from all over the world. I would say majority are based in the UK, but we have about a 20% that are globally based. Let me see. So we have a question about the postgraduate certificate, and I did touch a little bit on that in the presentation, but maybe I can elaborate a little bit more. The Career Accelerator allows our learners to have a broad scope of product management and the product management lifecycle from start to finish through the curriculum of the Career Accelerator, which we have found that learners, are able to make those career changes and are able to make industry changes through the Career Accelerator. The postgraduate certificate comes in as an additional option that our learners can do, and it's kind of been created with the idea that once you've completed the Career Accelerator and you start sinking your teeth into your product management, your new product management or product adjacent role, you want to start specializing in a specific area. And this allows you to get a real deeper understanding or focus on an independent project that is either relevant to you or potentially even the company that you're currently working for. Maybe they'll sponsor you if you do a research topic that's going to benefit them as well. It runs very differently to the Career Accelerator, and I do encourage you to speak a little bit to your enrollment advisor if the postgraduate certificate is something that you are interested in. Some of the projects that you can do, it really is focusing on whether you want to focus on one of those parts of the product life cycle. So if you want to go into more of the product launch strategy, so how do you develop that more comprehensive go-to-market plan, develop nuanced go-to-market strategies, incorporating market research, financial modeling, and ethical consideration. So you can really go into a much more detailed scope into that part of the product lifecycle, or market segmentation, customer journey mapping, competitive analysis. We're speaking a lot about AI at the moment. Potentially your research topic is focused on AI in product management. You'll work with a King's academic supervisor to help you define that research topic if maybe you don't have one defined going into it. It's about 4 months. It's completely self-paced. It can be done remotely, and the time commitment isn't, it's not structured the same way as the Career Accelerator. So we have a question about whether the course takes into consideration students with different backgrounds for this course, especially if the incoming students have not tapped into any product management undergrad work experience. I'll touch briefly on this. The program itself, we do have specific eligibility criteria to gain entry to the program. What we're looking for is a completed undergraduate degree. In pretty much in any field. It doesn't have to be product focused or product adjacent, or potentially 2 to 3 years of relevant business experience. So working in a tech company or tech industry where you are familiar with product management and that, so you can have some insights into there. But essentially, we've created the Career Accelerator to help you transition industries and to help you launch your career in product management. I do encourage you, because everyone's coming in with a unique set of circumstances and career experience. I do encourage you to chat with your enrollment advisor about your specific one so we can see whether the product management career accelerator is the right option for you. I think we might be coming to the end of we do have one more question, Claire. I'm gonna lean on you here, but it's how many one-on-one sessions does each learner get with their career coach?
Yeah, so we don't focus so much on the number of sessions. It's more about the action that you're taking to reach your career goal. So you have the support for a career coach for 12 months. Typically we would maybe see people having sort of 6 sessions over that course of 12 months. We wouldn't expect anyone to have more than one a month, but so it could be a maximum of 12 sessions, but it's really driven by what you need and when you need it. So say you're going through lots of interviews and you're wanting to connect, you may connect with your coach much more frequently than once a month. But say that you're really sort of focusing in on the course content, really sort of wanting to get the skills, understand what you're doing, then you may not see your career coach for a month or so. So we're not focused so much on the numbers. We're focused on, giving you the support you need and enabling you to take the actions that you need to take in between the sessions. And the work really happens in between the sessions when you're implementing what you've agreed that you're going to go away and implement. And so that's really what drives the number of sessions that you take with your career coach.
And you get 3 one-to-one sessions with your facilitator throughout the course as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I noted that we are getting towards the end of the session, and I know there are still a few questions outstanding. I really do encourage you to book a call with your enrollment advisor. They're going to be best placed to answer all of these questions, especially the ones, that are unique to your circumstances, your experience, and your intended career goals through the program. And I do just want to say a big thank you again to Claire, to Justin, and to Yasmin for your time and your expertise and your support throughout the Career Accelerator too. It's I think it might be good for the audience to see the faces of the people that will be supporting them through their Career Accelerator journey. And yeah, we'll post the link again for booking a session with your enrollment advisor, and they'll be best placed to support you with any outstanding questions that you might have. Thank you so much for your time today, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.